Warm
Okay,
greetings.
I started.
A very warm, a
Yeah,
very warm welcome to all the AIWC members and all our guests,
thank you.
especially as a speaker of the day, Ms. Kavita Valsala, whom we are very fortunate to have today in our series, Achievers and Trailblazers, Women Taking Untrodden Paths. This is session 9 of our series, and as the members who have been joining this series know, that we have in fact gone from very prestigious women who have held very prestigious positions and who have been doing a lot of service to the community. Our last speaker, Lakshmi Venkatesh, talked to us about young children who have I wouldn't say a disability, but differently abled children who have problems with speech, and how she has been doing a lot of service in this particular field. Today we have with us Ms. Kavita Valsala, who is the Principal Technology Architect at Infosys Trivandrum, and she will be talking to us on artificial intelligence as reshaping the IT landscape. Careers are being rewritten. Actually, when I was looking at this topic that she gave us, I was thinking of the ways in which human capabilities are being, in a way, sidelined so that robots and computerized programs take over. Today being the day of reading, today as I was passing the Kanakuna Palace, there was a big board which said that there is a reading program, and today we call it a reading day in Kerala. So this came to me as something that we should encourage reading, and how artificial intelligence and short memories are taking over, short spans of interest are taking over, so that children have forgotten to read. And we all blame it on artificial intelligence, and we say that Gemini or other like Copilot, Chat GPT have taken over. And we as humans have lost our ability to think and to respond in human ways. That is what we thought that a seminar of this nature would be very appropriate at this junction, because we want to know what Infosys has been trying to do to reshape the IT landscape. And Miss Kavita has been there at Infosys, as she tells us, for a very long time, for over 7 years. I think that gives her the standing to talk to us about what Infosys has actually done to reshape the IT landscape, and how new opportunities and careers are opening up for our young students and people who want to enter the job market. Of course, today we talk about not the youth getting jobs, but we are also talking about people who have for a long time been sidelined and who are sitting at home doing nothing, coming back as entrepreneurs into this field. And AI is helping them quite a lot in trying to establish new ventures. Uh, to talk about Kavita Valsala is to say that she is an accomplished educationist as well, I should say. She has had a very grand academic career. She was a gold medalist in BTech in computer science from Kerala University. She has a master's in software systems from BIT Pilani, certified in business leadership from Stanford University. She's certified on artificial intelligence applications for growth from Northwestern Kellogg. Has another certification from on navigating and leveraging culture and networks from MIT Expro. Very, very impressive record of her career, of her experience, and of her career and studies. At the organizational level, she has been a chief platform architect of multiple platforms for global clients, innovations in digital programs and technology chapters, and leads the Women in Technology for the unit core member of Infosys Diversity Council. So her experiences are vast, and I'm sure that we are all going to gain from her rich experience, from her ways in which she has been looking at so many different platforms related to artificial intelligence, and also with interest not in just sitting with her qualifications, but going on from one to another. So congratulations, I should say, Kavita, for that constant innovative mind, which I'm sure that artificial intelligence has not destroyed. She is a winner of 5+ global Infosys awards for Excellence Team Award across the years. Uh, this is just the tip of the iceberg of all her qualifications, of all her experiences. And I'm sure that Kavita is going to give us today um, a platform from which the AIWC can, in fact, find new meanings of innovating new careers for our young students and also for adults. Because I think artificial intelligence has opened up possibilities not only for the youth, but for everyone, whatever their age may be. That is why today, even as we get older, we upgrade ourselves like a computer. We say, now we know what Copilot can do for us. Now we know what Gemini can do for us. So this is the way in which I think once we uh, tag on to a computerized program, then there is always a possibility of moving from one to another, and different platforms open up for us. And at this juncture, I would also like uh, um, to say that it is not just a computerization of human minds that is happening, but it is also, if we see it in the right way, it is the rich possibilities that are being opened up for us with the use of artificial intelligence. And I would say should not become slaves of artificial intelligence, but use artificial intelligence in very, very meaningful ways. So with this short introduction, and once again, a very warm greeting to everyone who has joined us here. And Sheilaji, who was the past president of the AIWC, is also with us. We're very, very happy that you have joined us, Sheilaji. And welcome once again, welcome to all who have joined us on this platform. A very, very warm welcome to Kavita Valsala, who is with us. And I'm very happy to see that she is the daughter of an academician and the granddaughter of academicians in institutions in Kerala. And she has, in fact, it's architect. First, when I saw the word architect, I thought, is this something related to architecture? Then I began to realize it was not architecture that we were looking, that Kavita was interested in, but how to plan and program young minds. So thank you very much for joining us, Kavita, and sharing your experience with us. A very warm welcome to everyone. Over to you, Kavita.
Thank you so much.
Usha, would you want Sheilaji to say something before?
I think during the interactions.
Okay, fine.
So, Kavita, please go.
Kavita, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much for a very warm welcome. It's indeed a great honor for me to get invited as a part of this wonderful platform of AIWC, where we celebrate achievers and trailblazers. So when I first heard it from, Usha auntie, I was thinking, okay, what should I go and talk about? Who are the audience I should be addressing? And a lot of the questions which came to me. But over the course of these weeks, I was being very well aligned on what is being expected out of me as well. And thank you so much for giving a very accurate introduction and context setting of AI, Jamila ma'am. This moment is actually all the more a blessing to me and a pride as well. This is because this is where I have seen my great grandmother Indira Ramakrishna Pilla, who is the very closest friend of my grandmother. She has been part of this, this forum and served longer years, right? And she was the first woman probably I would have seen very close by working for women, enabling and encouraging women across different stages of life. I, in fact, was very blessed to bring her to Infosys campus once on a Women's Day, and she spoke to the whole larger audience of Infosys Trivandrum as well. As my grandmother, as a person who have reshaped how women should be taking care of themselves and the people around them as well. So very happy to be part of this wonderful platform to start with. I think, my academic and other introduction has been very well shared. So I don't think I need to recap any of these, but to give some slight add-ons, which probably was not there in the profile that has been shared. I started my journey, when I've done with my engineering, which was in computer science, I have been placed in a product company called Saskin. And then long the time back, probably 22 years back, I was actually one of the developer where we have been coding on the SIM that we see on our phones, which are right now on our hands, the 5G SIMs. That is where I have started. But that is how the journey of IT is also about. What you see in our hand has been developed so many years ago and tested and been proven to be in the hands of people. That is where I have started. Then I have moved on to Infosys and Infosys Trivandrum, been with Infosys for 20 plus years now. So if I look about the technologies that I have worked, I have learned, probably the list goes on because in a space where the technology is changing quite so often, it is not easy to name one technology. But I was very fortunate to be part of, or at least aligned my skills and my career on very specific domains. I started with that time's most edge technology of mobile. I still continue to be in the edge technologies, be it mobile or the digital. And right now, to clarify, Dr. Jamila ma'am, I'm a principal architect with Infosys or for a digital experience unit with Infi. So what we do there is what we see on our phones, what we see on our websites, right? Those are the applications that we design and architect. So when we say architect, to give you an example, if you might be using Ubers or Amazons or Swiggies, right? It is not just what we see on the phone. There's a whole lot of intelligence that has been built behind the scenes to ensure that we get the cars on time, we get the shipping on time, we get things delivered on time. So that is the core architecture of a digital platform. That is where my core skill area is. And with Infosys and Digital Experience Unit, I am primarily looking at and heading the IPs, products and platforms within the digital unit. I'm a chief architect there. So what we do there is basically create platforms which are being reusable across multiple global enterprises. That is how we work. And over the past 20 years in Infosys itself, I have worked almost very major global clients, serving their implementation, serving their architecting and designing of their. First, we start with identifying their problem space, then we solutionize it, then we design and architect what has to go into their platforms and enterprises. So that's how the journey goes in. And once it is architected, then we will bring that solution architecture to the developer's hands, where they actually develop what needs to go in. And then continuously it gets into a lot of other life cycle management of a platform before it gets into the hands of the actual users of that particular platform. So that is where my core area and expertise is all about. And academic part, of course, Jamila Maham have detailed. I was fortunate to take a lot of the certifications from the best of the graduate schools across the globe. That is all with the support of Infosys, because when you are in a leadership role, Infosys promote to take global certification, so that you are well suited and you are able to contribute well to the unit as well as to the organization. And Infosys being a company which promotes and enables women, not just from the entry level, but across the strata till the leadership level, we have a very specific focused group for women, wherein a lot of these courses, enablements, encouragements, all happen to the women who are identified to be in the career path. So I was fortunate to be part of all that leadership programs and get to be certified across different global university platforms as well. Of course, when we get into a forum, which of course, when we start in an industry like an IT, where we understand that 50% of the graduates get into directly into IT, close to 50% directly get into IT. And at an entry level, we get to see more women as well in the IT industry, because it is an area where it is one of the first of its kind choice of career path when we are out of an engineering college, right? And this is due to many, many reasons. One, the kind of safest environment that IT industries provide, the cozy workplaces, the unbiased work culture, and gender neutral opportunities that is available to anyone who joined these IT sector, and a lot more. So the first choice for any graduate out of a BTech would be a company like Infosys or any other services or product companies in the IT sector itself. And they tend to, then build the career on top of it and move forward. Then what is the difference that people like me had made? So when we started, probably the crowd was lesser, and to stick on to a company and to bring in a difference in the ways of working is probably where people like me or a technologist like me would have made a difference. That probably is in different areas, to bring in more inclusiveness in technology landscape, to ensure that women can continue and stay on in the same industry amidst the challenging high pressure work needs, and being a more empathetic mentor to enable more women who are down the line. And at the same time, since we know the hardships, convince the leadership to make a difference in the ways of working, so that people can still continue in whatever roles that they fit in and be in the same industry to serve the industry for a longer time. Because as you all know, the IT industry have a very different demand, and as it is gender neutral, the demand is same across everyone. But of course, women may find it a little difficult to actually be at par in different stages of their life, probably during their pregnancy period, or their motherhood period, or when they are in stages of different stages, when their son got, or their child get into graduations or board exams. Like the conditioning of home demands women more at home as well, at the same time in the IT sector as well. How is it different from other domains or other industries that we have across? Probably the time differences, the client needs, the expectations as well is completely different when we look at it, right? That probably is been noticed as a high demand or a high pressure in an IT industry. But of course, we can manage, we can align ourselves, we can align the culture in which the team is getting formed around us. So all that is possible if we put our heart into it. at the same in the same way that we make a difference in the home we live, right? We can of course make a difference in the workplace that we are part of as well. So that is probably where me as a technologist and me as a women coach have played a difference in Infosys, and the unit that I'm serving to, which is the digital unit. And I'm actually heading the Women in Technology Architecture practice within my unit. I'm also part of the Infosys Diversity Council, where we take a lot of initiatives and actions to bring up more women in the career path. So a lot of these happens, and it's all because of the supporting leadership and the executives that we have in the IT industry, and that is how we are. So we'll move on to what is all about AI in IT and what can we think about it as well. You can stop me at any
Kavita,
moment.
yeah,
Yeah,
can you get into slideshow mode?
sure, I can. Yeah. So this is the moment that we are in, where AI have been everywhere around us. And so, is it the first time that something like a technology revolution is happening? It is not, of course. Over the past decades, we have seen many such drastic shifts in the technology space. Then, what is unique about AI? The way in which probably I would say it has exploded at a lightning speed, um, to the hands of common man and not just the technology experts. So till now, whenever there is a revolution of technology happens, be it we have moved from our large boxes of servers to cloud era, only the technologists have seen the shift. But when AI have started coming in, probably the first it entered the hands of people who actually use their phones, people who use their websites and all that. I mean, they become very, very used to having AI on their hands. So I was very happy to listen from Jamila ma'am when she talked about co-pilots or ChatGPT or Gemini. These are the prominent ones that we use even inside our IT sector as well. So this shows how it has influenced a larger community, and not just the technologies. And that is the uniqueness, the beauty, as well as the opportunities AI have brought us about. So AI is actually only transforming and augmenting human capabilities. It is not making us slaves. The way in which that we should look at AI is it should be reshaping what our current roles are. Of course, we should get into reskilling or upskilling and all that, depending on the kind of area that your work is in. But it is not about we being slaves to it, but it is always about augmenting our efficiency using AI, leveraging AI's tools and services across whatever we are doing, which actually means the career has been exploded as well. So how is it exploded? So earlier, when we need to have a design, if I need to design a poster for a session, I would have to go and talk to a designer. I have to be with him. I have to wait for 2 to 3 weeks to get an invite sent out for me. But now with AI, now with a lot of platforms around, I just need to give a prompt. I will get a very beautiful invite out. Same is the case with anything and everything that we do. If I want to get a presentation out, if I want to get a documentation out, if I want to get a research paper, if I want to search about something, the kind of information it puts across, it is so huge. And of course, we have to do our own evaluation. We have to assess whether the data it is presented is correct. That is exactly the point where human expertise is still valid. AI can only present the data that it has seen so far. It can generate the data based on the data, the terabytes of data that it holds. But of course, there is still a hinge where the human expertise plays a pivotal role in defining whether the output of AI is still usable or not. Um, but the kind of ways in which it has to use have already been changed a lot as well. So career has been evolved. So earlier, when we look at it, at least in IT industry, we have defined roles. When you get into an IT, we will start as a associate developer, then we get into a software developer, senior software developer. So that is how we start our journey, our progressions are. And what they may be doing, they may be coding, or they may be doing testing, or they may be writing some test cases. This is what they were actually been doing. Can they still do that job? Probably not. That is where AI have entered into an IT developers landscape. So the way in which those roles now define has slightly changed. So I will get into that also. So the career has evolved, and opportunities have also been exponentially increased. But where is it? It is not in the earlier domains. It is in a different ways of working that it has evolved. When I very specifically looking at the software development life cycle, starting from, say, identifying a problem, solutioning it, architecting it, designing, developing, and all that, right? We have a huge set of tools which are right now available where these stakeholders can actually use it. Say, if I'm an architect, I can use AI tool to prepare a solution architecture diagram, to prepare a sequence diagram, to prepare a workflow diagram. Similarly, a developer can use AI tools like Copilots or Claude to actually generate the full code. They don't now have to write a piece of code. That is a difference. So a developer before AI actually sit and write the code, but right now they just need to prompt the whole code of whatever applications that they have to write. Depending on the prompt that they give, it is automatically generated. Which means, does a developer lose their relevance? They will not, but they have to upskill themselves. So they have to upskill not to write the code, but to judge the code, to assess the code, to see if the output of the Claude or the Copilot is correct. Okay, and adjust the prompt. So they have to now, apart from learning, learning the newer technologies like Python or iOS, Swift, and Kotlin, and all that thing, they also have to learn prompt engineering, how to optimize the prompt, how to best use the prompt as a developer and get the best code um, out of an agent, an AI agent, like a Claude or a Copilot or a Gemini and all that, or a Cowork. So we have a lot of tools to use, but which tool to use, which agent to use, how to prompt, how to get the better code out of it, the best code, and how to assess and give more directions to these agents so that they bring us the best output, which is error free, which is production ready, which we can directly put it into production. So that is where the developers and the engineers have to skill themselves up to. So wherever they are right now, they have to make at least a 5x skill development to continue in that space. That is what the AI have demanded us in this space. And what it takes away the mundane tasks like preparing reports or preparing meeting minutes or preparing the code, preparing test cases, preparing the report, the assessments and all that. I mean, all the documentations things probably AI can take away, but it brings in a lot of decision making as well. So when we give a lot of information to AI, it can better give us what should be the decision, what should be the way in which this particular application should work, what should be the better way wherein I can enhance my code so that it is error free, it gets into larger audience. So all that AI can even predict. So that is where we definitely have to use AI into different areas of our work as well. Another, probably, we would have seen a 360-degree collaboration across the apps that we have in our mobiles, right? For example, if I get a mail saying there is an invite on AIWC, it can even mark my calendar. Whenever I get into the calendar, it can ask, okay, do I need to give you a prep for this particular meeting. These are the kind of meetings which have already happened in AIWC so far in this particular webinar series. So all that is possible because AI can have, if once we allow them, AI do have the data of us from different apps, from different platforms. So it can collaborate among these softwares. It can bring up the intelligence which make it very, very effective for a professional to continue their daily work. So we have to basically look at AI in that perspective. How do I actually make use of AI to better um, better streamline my day, to have a very productive day, so that my tasks have been productively done and I focus on what is very, very important for the organization or for the client that I'm looking for. So that is made very effective by AI, if you ask me, because it do have a lot of collaboration across different softwares that we use in our daily life. So to give you an example, yeah, we use Microsoft as our enterprise platform. So Microsoft Outlook or Teams, or even the Word, the PPT, all that is now enabled with Copilot. So if I can go and create a document, it can even search a PPT which I've prepared like 2 years ago and bring up that data and ask me, okay, Kavita, do you want to add this in? Do you want to make this inputs also into this particular document? So that is the way the collaboration of the system happen with with the influence of AI across these enterprises. So we actually use it very, very productively so that our tasks are better planned and used. That is how AI have changed at least the daily ways of working of a person in an IT industry. Of course, this may be the same way that any industry may be looking at, because I could listen from other domain expert who have been best leveraging AI in their daily routine. So I think, as I've told, the difference is it has exponentially gone to hands of everyone, which make it very, very powerful and easy to use as well. Now, as does it bring opportunities, or is it going to give a phase down to the IT sector? I may say it is going to bring a lot of opportunities. Currently, if we look at it as well, let's categorize into at least 4 different areas. Like there is something called build, there is something called run, apply, and shape. So the Geminis or the chat GPTs that we use, right? If it needs to upgrade themselves, we definitely need AI engineers. We definitely need people who understand the data. We definitely need people who can work on data models. So building new features, new intelligences in AI is still going to evolve. So probably the earlier streams of computer science or IT and all have to have additional AI papers to make them understand how it is going to shift their academic profile going forward. So they will not now be software engineers, they will be more AI engineers, so that they can work on prompt engineering, they can work on data models, they can work on new age technologies like Python, so which actually been part of AI landscape. So that is where build is coming in. Then run. So of course, when AI is built, it needs a lot of, a lot of due diligence to make it run flawlessly across different systems. Because now it is not just in the hand of technologists or enterprises; it is in the hands of anyone and everyone who is using their phone or a website or a desktop. It is even there in our handheld. Even if you are out of network, you have your AI in your iPhones or Samsung. So AI is there even on the low edge devices as well. So making that AI programs run flawlessly needs very, very due diligence. So that makes it a lot of opportunities in that space as well. Then comes apply. So people like me, or architects or strategists or product development, so product owners, product managers, people who are there in those streams of work have to apply AI in their daily work. So we definitely need to be trained on how to use AI, how to best leverage AI in our daily work. So that becomes very, very, very critical, that apply AI is also important. So if I give a work, or if I take up a work, earlier, which used to take, say, 5 hours, may now take only less than 5 minutes. How can I best bring up my time into that 5 minutes optimized, is because I know how to best apply AI into the problem that I'm working on. So apply AI also is very, very important, because we have to have that is a space where it actually have a human intervention as well. No, when I use AI, how should it work? What is that I'm expecting my ChatGPT to respond? So all that comes in better fine tuning the experience layer, which is given out to people who are using the AI. So apply AI is also a space where lot of opportunities is going to evolve. Last but not the least is the shape, because AI has just come to the landscape, and we have to think about the ethical part of it, the responsible AI part of it, the cyber security of it. We have to think about how best it is used, without it bringing up data leakages into the enterprises. So data privacy, cyber security, the ethical usage of AI, all that has actually been in the hands of strategists who are going to evolve the current data laws to AI laws, like AI ethical AI, responsible AI. All that is a huge stream which have just now opened, which has need to undergo a lot of work to streamline rules and regulations and the ways of usages and the ways of working of AI, for different people. No, if an AI is to be used by a school kid, how should we put the boundaries around it? If AI needs to be used by an enterprise, how should we bring in the boundaries there? If AI is to be used by an Amazon user, what are the boundaries that we need to bring in there? So that is where the strategist is going to work on. So shaping up AI is a huge space that is just now opened, which is going to add a lot of regulations, be it countrywide regulations, data security regulations, cyber regulations, and all that into the stream. So it is just only started. There is a lot more opportunities being added on to the stream to get things streamlined, to get it aligned, so that we use it very, very safe in the hands. So I may say that when AI have entered the IT landscape, it has now actually change the way that we look at IT. It is not now purely technical. It is more about how human interact. What is the intelligence that human expect out of an AI? What should be the ethical consideration? How should it be designed so that we feel safe to use it? So all that comes into the picture when AI have been gone into the hands of people like us. Earlier, technology revolutions were only, bounded to the hands of technologists or the people who are using in that landscape. But now it is not that. Anyone and everyone who is using needs to understand how to use it, and AI or that engineer who is going to develop the experience need to understand what is the expectation that a common man have on this. So now it is not purely technical. That's a huge space of human experience element that has brought into it. That is where the opportunities that I may look at it when seeing the AI influence in the technology, the business, or the IT landscape. Then probably this is where the most of our students may have a question, or most of the new age entrants into the IT landscape have a question. No, how do I stay relevant? Is it something that has been taught to me in my college? Is it something already part of my curriculum? As we all know, curriculum do get its own upgrades, and it has its own time period in which gets upgrade, because that also need the researchers and people to understand, so that bring it into curriculum. But we are very happy to see a lot of engineering curriculums have been upgraded with the support of industry experts so that they stay relevant to even the graduation courses, so that when they graduate out of engineering colleges, they have the basic understanding of AI. So that is very, very positive to look at it. But once you are into the landscape also, continuous learning is critically important. It is not when AI has been there, it is from the time when we have started our career. I think it's part of any domain, right? Continuous learning is part of our ways of being in a career path. Be curious on what you are seeing around, be a learner. That makes you relevant in the space that you are right now in. So be a continuous learner, whether AI is there or not. It is part of us to stay relevant in the job or in the domain that we are part of, and be adaptable. Because we may have, I mean, when AI came to us probably 2 years back, when we asked our developers to stop coding and use Copilot to write the code, of course, there is a hesitance whether it will give me correct code. So be adaptable, no? I mean, we have to give that flexibility for AI to give us an output. We give better prompts so that it give better output. So adaptability is also critically important. How quickly you adapt to the new tools, the new services is what we always look at in a new graduate or people who join us in our teams. One of the criteria that we always look at them is how adaptable they are to the industry, how adaptable they are to the new age learnings, how easily they can skill up themselves from what they have learned in colleges to what is demanding in the current programs. That is critically important when we are in an IT landscape. So be adaptable to the program needs, be a learner, always be a learner, and collaborate with AI. We don't need to compete with AI, but we have to use AI in the best and efficient way so that our productivity is improved. So, a developer who used to code the 8 hours a day have now just need to put a prompt. They can actually verify the code that comes out of it, reprompt it, modify the prompt. So they can still work, but the way in which they are, working or interacting with the computer, interacting with the system have changed. So we have to use them still as a co-pilot. So collaborate with AI and bring up your human-centric skills. The expertise of human part is still relevant even when AI is there. That we know, right? If you ask a question to AI, it will give 5 different answers. Even if you repeatedly ask, you will get 5 different answers. In different ways, it may respond. But we have to finally ensure it is correct, it is deterministic, it is relevant to the context that I'm using. So definitely human-centric skills are critically important because AI has gone everywhere. And with all that, with all the tools that we have in hand, create an impact. So we have to move from a skill-based technologist to an impact-based technologist. So what is the impact that me as a architect or me as a developer or me as a program manager can bring into the table using all the tools and services and the benefits of AI? That is what the industry is now looking at. So we have to actually shift from a talent and a skill based taxonomy to an impact and a value based taxonomy when we look at graduates or when we look at people who are entering into the IT domain. The perspective that we were looking on a graduate have slightly changed. It may not be no longer skill, how how adaptable they are, how they can bring in an impact is what we look at it when we get some new joinees into our programs. So that is to help us stay relevant, and whether AI is there or not, staying relevant in the career needs all these. Okay, and these are the basic skills that a professional should have in their to be relevant to the company, to be relevant to the people around. That's what I may posit. Yeah, that's about AI overviews, and I thought since this has been a completely women forum, I should bring up something about the women part as well, which is seen in IT industry. There is a lot of myths and facts about women being in the IT industry. So how we address it, how we can help, and how we have changed the way in which women can continue to be in the IT industry. Probably I thought I should bring up a couple of points and then give it to the host to continue the discussions for the Q&A. So women in technology, when we look at it, a lot of graduates enter into the IT, but over the course, we have seen the number drops. So when we look at the very junior level, almost 40 to 50 to 60% will be women. But as the years pass on, when they move ahead in their careers, we have seen it is iteratively dropping. And there is a very huge effort which has been done by the leadership across the IT industry to bring up more women in the leadership roles. That is happening, which is very, very effectively happening. But even then, we are seeing a drop. So the drop can be due to many, many reasons. The drop can be due to their life situations. When they get into different stages of their life, they need to take a pause, they need to take a break, they need to continue back. All that do happens. Of course, that is something that is part of every industry, but in IT industry, we have seen that uh, drop across different stages as well. uh, I just want to give the forum a view that the leadership in IT industry is understanding, is very, very understanding it. They are very empathetic to the needs of the women, and they are reshaping their rules, their policies to make it more women friendly across. That is why we are seeing an uptick in women in leadership in these IT companies. So that is an ongoing initiative that we do take in all the forums in the IT itself. So that is one. The second is about work-life balance. I have not heard this term in any other industry, but been very, very used in IT. That may be because of the demand, the demands in the time needs that we need to invest in IT, because our clients may be in different parts of the globe and we have to be there when they are available. So that probably would have made it more unbounded time. But over the course of year, you will understand it's only a myth. We just need to balance what is important to us. If going to my son's school is important to me, I can definitely take a break and go there and come back. So that flexibility is available in IT industry. So instead of putting it as a bias, we always educate women to take it as a priority based balance. You will never achieve a balance because work and life is so much intertwined. You cannot have a very strict demarcation. Okay, these are the only hours I'm going to work and these are the only hours I will be with my family. That will never happen. So it is completely intertwined. So understand, align, prioritize, and balance is something that we always mentor the women to help them move forward. What it helps when women is there in the technology leadership is because we can bring in lot of different perspectives that only women can bring in. We can probably give more insights to the men who are there in the policy making, who are in the stakeholders, to make them understand there are very, very important considerations that you should look at it. That's what we have been doing across these years. So when I started, when my son was small, there was not a play school in Infosys campus. But now I'm very happy that we have a play school, an ELC, an early learning center across the Infosys DCs, where we can very safely bring our child and keep them in the daycares, and we can go to the workspaces and come back and collect them. So all these are happening because women bring in that perspective. We tell them this is what we need. This makes our lives more easier. This makes us more productive. So all that can only be brought in by women. So the unique perspectives definitely do shape the IT industries, and women play a huge role in that. And I was very fortunate to be part of many such initiatives and supporting many women, mentoring and coaching them to continue in this space for longer years. So I thought I should bring up that point as well, that there are a lot of helping hands to you, even when you are in a career. Even when you are away from your mother, you are away from your family, we are there to support you, to help you, guide you to take the appropriate decision in different stages of life. Yeah, that's it. And of course, my title was about the careers are getting rewritten, but I would like to, quote it. The authors are still us. So we have the privilege to write how it should be. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kavitha. That is a very interesting presentation. And you made it all so simple that we could all understand what you were telling us and the way in which careers, as you said, are being rewritten. And we have the hand of a robot and we have a human hand holding each other. I think that is the message that AI is giving us. So thank you for that wonderful presentation. Now the floor is open for comments, for discussion, and any comments you want to put in the chat box, please do that. But we would like you to unmute and ask. Bhuneshwari, to start off.
Okay. Uh, Actually, uh, just recently I've started, my experiment with Chat GPT, and what happened was the first poster I made had a big mistake in that. I took it for granted that, so that was a big lesson for me that we have to be very careful. Even though AI or Chat GPT is there, we are the ones, you have to be. That was a first and last sort of thing that I did. And you know what you said is quite correct. That continuing to learn and that adaptability, these are very important. Otherwise, we lose our relevance. If we don't go with the time, we cannot stay like we'll not be anywhere. So we'll be going behind many things. So that's one thing I was just, and it is quite interesting to learn all these things. It is very useful, and one more thing was that I was just thinking about it. See, what happens in the industry, like you are saying that coding takes, it used to take 5 hours and now it is 5 minutes. So the time that you can have more output in those, 5 hours. So how does it affect the people? The workforce. Like there'll be more layoffs because of this. These are the things. Like you remember when we had the computers for the first time, everybody was saying that computers will replace the human, workforce. So like that, this sort of thing, faster work, and all that, will it be affecting the people workforce? That is one question I had in mind. How do they adapt? Like 5 hours and 5 minutes, you're saying. So that's something which I had a question in my mind suddenly. We hear of layoffs a lot these days. So is it all because of this? That is one thing. And I had about this women dropping off, in between in the leadership roles and all that. I'm very happy to know that you are also involved in, hand holding or such things that your company is doing. Of course, Infosys is a great company. They are very empathetic and flexible and women supportive and all that. So these are the few things I noted, and that was a very wonderful this thing you had presentation. But we do have these doubts, I'm retired for last 10 years, and we are coping up, but we are a bit worried about this AI in the coming future days. What will happen? So, like, my worries when you talk in a room right now, if I talk about a thing in my house within, the very next day I get in my Facebook. I have not posted anything in my Facebook post. In my WhatsApp, I get that advertisement. This has happened. You talk about a product, you get that. So these are the things which is worrying, that privacy issue. Are we losing our privacy because of all these things? These are the things I wanted to know about from this.
Yeah. So the first question about how should we make the developers relevant to the industry? Of course, that skilling up is important. So what was the role of a developer 2 year earlier is not the expectation of a developer's output now. We don't expect the developer to come up with a program in 5 hours. We expect them to come up with a program in 5 minutes only, because they have to use AI in their coding, they have to use AI in their testing and all that. So expectation have changed. Does it mean that they will lose job? They will not. If they stay relevant, if they are able to bring up impact in that 5 minutes, in that 10 minutes, compared to others, definitely there is going to be very definitive space for skills like them. So the way in which we looked at the roles of IT industry is getting reshaped. So the developer is now not a developer who is coming and coding. They are the ones who are going to use AI to bring up faster programs in shorter times. That is the expectation. So staying relevant is critically important. And a lot of
Just to
opportunities are getting opened, right?
open at this point, because I think I also wanted to know, the number of entrants becomes lesser because you can manage with the number that you have who can do the job. So how do you balance that too in a company like Infosys? Because I know that the opportunities for youngsters are becoming less because those who are already there are being optimized to do the work in shorter periods.
Yeah, that is just one part of it, right? But we cannot have a hold to the entrance into the IT landscape, because we have to have the engine going on. We cannot just run with the people that we have. We definitely need to have new entrants. They come up with very, very newer skills where they are very they are more quickly adaptable to AI than a person who is there 10 years in the industry. So to keep the engine moving, we cannot hold entry into the IT landscape. It is very, very open. But the skills that is demanded out of a graduate may be different from what it was last year. So keeping up to the technology, keeping up to the industry is critically important to get into the landscape. That's what probably we used to tell the freshers, that this is how you should look at it. Just don't limit yourself with the academics. If you just limit yourself with academics, then there is a difficulty in entering, because academics may not be so up to date to take up all these new skills. So you have to be open, curious. You have everything around you to upskill yourself. No, it need not be there in your textbook. So be open, learn new things. That is what is demanded by the industry. I think that is it's a shift in the curricula, because our curricula was always on learning from the text and then doing the exams and things like that. No, they are not open to the applicability of things and how to leverage industry relevant tools and services and what is coming up niche in those areas. So that is where the shift has to happen. The students, the graduates have to be a little more open and adaptable to new things than limiting themselves to the academic curricula.
I think Guneshwari raised another issue also about the security, the
Yeah, that
privacy. That
privacy.
is,
yeah, that
Yeah, I was
problem was
about to
there.
ask.
That security and privacy problem was there not when AI has been launched. It is there from so many years now. When Google have made or when Apple have opened a lot of platforms, when our Google ID is being used across as a login to multiple of our apps, right? That point itself, we have opened it. It is the we have opened it unknowingly. Okay, if my Gmail account, Google account is going to be my Facebook login, it is going to be my WhatsApp login, I opened it. So it is because it is unknowingly we opened a lot of loops in which it was being able to take this data out. But being a technologist, I may say that we will get all these benefits only when we are open. Now we are in a world, we cannot be closely being so much locked up that my data should only be here. Of course, your very private data like your bank accounts, your pin codes, and all that is still secure. There are the technology
Yeah.
have very critical demands on how your data is to be used. We call it PII. So that the usage of PII is well defined in cyber laws. So any person who is going to develop a program have to adhere it. We will not get our app published in App Store if you don't comply with the PII. So don't worry. Only the things which are supposed to be out, which we gave our permission, knowingly or unknowingly, is what is being used by AI platforms.
so the
Uh,
issue is, like when you are trying to open it, it says, do you want to open it through your Facebook or your cloud or something? And there you lose
Yeah.
your uh,
exactly.
privacy.
And
There you have
permissions.
opened it. We haven't loosened our privacy metrics. We opened it. But if you look at it, no, these platforms come with so much of regulations, so much of regulation, so that we are still secure and we are still private. And compliance to privacy is critically important with government rules, with the platform rules, and so many other things. So we don't need to be so much worried. But the way in which, say, a Facebook works, if I meet a friend who have not in my network for like say 10 years, and the next day I am seeing his profile in my connections, um, that is a good to have feature. So look at it that way, I'm discussing with my child to have a vacation, and next day I'm getting so many options on a vacation plan. We don't have to go and search. So we have to look at it that, okay, it is opening up, giving us options, of course,
Oh,
with the bounded privacy. But there are areas, ma'am, where the cybersecurity, the privacy controls are
cybersecurity.
working so much to bring up ethical and responsible usage of AI. That is there. That area is still getting worked upon.
There are also fake pictures, fake videos floating around, and sometimes we don't know how to distinguish. These are the dangers. It's of course
Deep faking is a
AI
danger,
can
of
be
course.
used to the very
Benefit of
useful and all
people
that, but
also.
people making misusing it. That is the main worry.
Correct. I
Anyone else
mean, AI
would
has
like to?
exploded in a manner at a speed where the compliance rules and regulations are still in progress.
Okay.
So it is just coming up to bound everything.
I hope it comes faster.
Yeah, yeah.
We have some
No, I think
messages.
this is where people like us from AIWC, we can play a role in making people aware of these dangers, how to protect themselves. As Kavita said, instead of opening up our things for everyone, we can tell them how to safely use cyberspace and AI tools. But then again, as Bhuvaneshwari had mentioned, people are very scared of AI because there is so much of scary things going around that AI can do this and AI can do that. They can throw people out of jobs, which of course you have
Yeah.
clarified that they cannot throw people out of jobs, but people have to make themselves better at the jobs. And another thing is it is freeing up so much of time. Then maybe there are more things that they can do, more creative things, and it is making people free. The employees are getting more time, and they can do better things with that time. So that is an advantage. But recently, I was reading an article on AI that was talking about something called mythos. Am I pronouncing it right? MYTHOS. So what it said was it is AI. So basically how AI works is you are giving it data, you are giving it the possibilities. As you say, you are giving prompts. But what this particular software, I think it is mainly used in the security uh, scenario. And it says that the tool is going ready, I mean, is able to look beyond the possibilities that we feed in and go into other possibilities which the human mind has not thought of. So that becomes very scary because it is getting out of hand. It is not within our control, but it is using the things that we feed into it, but getting more options which we have not thought of. Is that a real danger?
It is not a danger. It is basic. We call it the generative AI. No, based on the kind of data that is feed in, it is able to generate more assessments, more options, more variants of the things that you are looking at. So we have to actually look at it from a way that how best we can use it, rather than thinking it of a danger. Of course, unless it has a possibility to think, that's why we always depict AI with human brain, right? So it has that capability of a brain to think, to assess, to process, and to bring newer options so that we get benefit out of it. So, to give you an example, no, if I ask a developer to come up with the test cases, a developer may come up with 5 test cases, but if I ask the same question to AI, they will come up with 25 different options, which even a developer may need an experience to think about. He may need some 3 years experience to think about 25 scenarios. But if say a developer is using it genuinely, if they are using it to better productively utilize their work, in the first day itself, they are opening up to different scenarios to see how best their work can be completed, rather than putting that code to production, getting a bug and then fixing it. So AI definitely bring up generative AI use cases.
But if the AI brings out so many, like 25 or whatever number options, all those options may not be very conducive to, may not be all that positive. There may be negative things. These things can go into a negative mode also.
That
So
is where our
some
human
people might
expertise
take it.
brings in there. We have to assess what comes out of AI.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, the question of ethical and responsible usage of AI, I think
It's
it's something
how
that
the user.
taught from the primary level itself, because we find a lot of plagiarism in research projects, in essays that are being written at the postgraduate level or even at the lower levels. I think some mechanism or some algorithm has to come in so that such plagiarism is not made pervasive. And also, I think the children have to be told about how to use it and about the ethics that is behind any kind of transference from artificial intelligence to what they are doing. I think that is something that as educationists we are all very conscious about, and that is why AI sometimes becomes very scary, and the feeling that children are not really doing what they should be doing. But right from the lower levels, if we are able to instill in them ethical values and responsibility, I think that is a skill, or that is a human, I would say, conditioning that has to come. And that will take time, of
It
course.
will take
But one
time.
question I wanted to ask you was, when you talked about opportunities and you said run artificial intelligence. You said AI and MLOPS. What does
That
that
is
stand
machine learning and operations. ML
for?
is machine learning.
Machine learning and operations. Okay, thank you.
Yes,
To
I
go
also
to the
had a
chat
question
box,
there.
which is just
Out of those, yes.
just a moment, let me just read out the chat box. We have Rajeshri who says, Kavita, you spoke so well. It was very informative and reassuring for career women. Thank you. Usha Armanan says, great session, very informative. Thank you, Kavita. And Valsa Matthew says, very informative. So very good remarks there in the chat box. So Usha, you were able to say something.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask you, you were showing those four areas, no, where opportunities are there for people to get jobs. So can you also just mention, what is the type of training they should look for to fit into those roles?
So those are not actually roles. Those are the domains that we can look at it from an IT landscape. There are areas where engineer can coach themselves to become better prompt engineers, data scientists. They have to understand how to work with data models, because AI finally works with data models. So we have to there are a lot of opportunities in the way in which an AI is getting built. Okay, so we have to translate into appropriate training and all that, but it may finally end up in AI in the data sets, prompt engineering, and many others, so that we are equipped to build AI applications or the intelligence of the AI. That is the build part of it. Run also meaning like we need to be trained enough to basically run the applications which are AI backed. Say that I have a application which is having an intelligence chatbot. I need to make sure that I am able to use it in my application. So running of that AI also needs a lot of very specific skills. The technology which earlier we used to be learning is probably Java or .NET and all that, but now it has become Golang or Python, which are very, very appropriate for AI usages. So the technology landscape has also evolved.
No, but
But
what are
can
the
I restrict?
chances for not technology people in the IT? And how can they enter this field? Is
Yeah,
there
right.
any chance for non-technology people?
Yeah, right now, except for the delivery roles, like we get into the stream of delivery and solution architects, right? Those are only open for engineers. But of course, there are corporate roles, corporate functions like finance and HR and sales and marketing, then consultants. All that are open up to, say, MBA graduates or finance consultants and all that. So corporate functions are always available in IT landscape. Of course, the number of heads may be very less compared to the delivery roles, but of course, they are also very, very critical roles when we look at an IT.
Thank you, Kavita, for clearing all our doubts and our apprehensions about artificial
Yeah, we will
intelligence.
be thinking we have more apprehensions
Yeah.
than because we are in that generation. We are, of course,
Yeah.
trying to cope up. It's not that we have given it up, but
I think we all become very
it's,
apprehensive of the younger generation. What is going
yeah, what will happen in the
what will
future?
happen?
And
Yeah.
of course, we are careful, but
Yeah, of course, it has to start training from the school levels or the graduation levels itself on ethical and responsible AI. But I may say that our kids are far more better, equipped to use AI. There are actually anti-plagiarism check options. There are tools which can tell you whether it is AI influenced documentation. So a lot of tools are even available. The moment AI has been exploded, the ways in which we can check whether AI has influenced this documentation, AI has influenced this particular research paper, all that are also available. So
great.
technologists are working hand in hand to ensure where to use AI, where not to use AI, how to check AI and validate as well.
Regulations have to be in
Yeah.
place. That's
And children should be made
good.
aware of that.
Made aware of that,
Make
and
them
yeah.
responsible in their usage of AI.
Yeah. It actually starts from home, right? The way in which
Yes.
we tell our children how to use the gadgets, where to bring the parental controls. Of course, in schools, there are opportunities to bring your own devices, which I mean, or even school control devices. Apple and Google brings in those opportunities to have controlled school devices. I mean, controlled iPads and tablets and all that are available. But as educationists, as academicians, we have to know the possibility so that we can implement it.
Actually, countries are also now coming forward to ban social medias. Dubai has now,
Yeah,
uh,
just
yeah,
2 days
just
back only the
yeah,
news
2 days
came. Yeah,
back they just issued
social media is
ban
banned up
on
to
usage
some
of
age.
social media for school children. And
Mm.
I think Poland is going back to the writing and slate for once
Yeah.
again. So I think that everything has its time and everything
I
has to go on. So if that
actually,
is all, shall we?
I
Shall
think Lalita Matthew, are you wanting to ask something? Lalita, you can unmute and speak. Please unmute.
unmute?
Please unmute. We cannot hear you.
No,
Yeah.
ma'am,
yeah,
I don't think I have anything special to ask, but that artificial intelligence, normally we hear only the negative things.
Correct.
But ma'am said so many wonderful things that anyone could understand, and I was enjoying every bit of it. I would like to compliment her on her presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
it's
Okay.
reassuring.
Thank you,
And
Kavita, for being here on this platform
Thank
and
you.
reassuring us that AI is not going the
but
wrong way, but there are lots of possibilities and full of optimism for the generation, the Gen Zs that are coming up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for this opportunity as well.
And thank you to all
Even
the members who have
I had
joined us at the
suggested
club.
the world of IT and the threat of AI as the title of
Yeah,
the program, and she said no, we will not see it as a threat. And
yeah,
what she suggested was far better. That it is redefining the way we look at things. And as all
exactly.
the others have mentioned, you have removed our apprehensions.
yeah,
We all
really.
came here with a lot of apprehensions about AI and how it is going to negatively influence our lives or affect our lives. But then at the end of this session, we are all reassured, and we are also ready to welcome AI into our lives and make better use of it. And you have also
Thank
told us
you.
how
Yes, ma'am.
to educate the children about how not to use as well as how to use.
Ah,
So
correct.
that is one thing that you have highlighted. Thank you so much, Kavita, for that wonderful session. And I'm sure a lot of people will be watching this on YouTube. We have better viewership on YouTube than live because of the timings and the being a working day, many people could not join. But a lot of people will get benefit out of your session. And thank you so much. And please remain connected to AIWC. Of course, I know that you have been connected with us throughout. As you said, through generations, we have seen and been part of this. So please remain connected with us, and we'll come back to you for any help that we may need to take this education about AI forward in AIWC. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yes,
Kavita. We'll
yes,
get back
thank
to
you
you.
so much. Thank you, Jamila, ma'am.